Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to part 2 of how to make a perfect tattoo video with Bestie Shows Best in the house. Let's get to action. Since we're on lockdown right now and the shop is closed and there are no tattoo artists here, I would say let's just pretend the shop is working right now. We will build up a station here.
But before we do that, I just want to say to you guys, you can watch videos that tell you how to do something anyway, but the most you will learn is if you just do stuff. Just take your camera, film stuff. If it looks bad, do it again, but you learn the most by just doing it and doing it wrong and then doing it right again after that. We're about to show you how things are done in the real big business. So now we're here in a situation where we want to light this tattoo here. When you come closer, as you can see, we got some shadows over here and you can't really see what's going on. This would be difficult for the tattoo artist, but even more difficult for me to film because the camera doesn't see it like you see it. The camera always sees it way worse. So we need more light. So we pick a softbox, put it here, and as you can see, you have to put at least one softbox directly on the tattoo. If the artist is sitting here, you cannot put the light here because otherwise the artist will cast a shadow on the tattoo. So this only works if the artist works from here. The artist has to sit down, get into position, and then you bring the light into position because then you know where you can put it. Use at least 2 lights, sometimes more, but it's always good to have the second one from another angle. Now this should be evenly lit. First thing every filmmaker is gonna hate is you have to tilt the camera when you shoot stuff for Instagram because it has to be like this. I shoot most of my stuff out of hand. If you want a real good and steady shot, we have a stabilization in the camera, we have a stabilization in the lens, and if you don't use a gimbal, you have to try to act a little bit like a gimbal. What you basically do is you try to keep the camera still and just move everything else of your body and don't move the camera at all, and you can just go like this. I'm gonna show you how this looks if I do a shot here of this tattoo right out of my hands. I'm using autofocus because it's a little bit more easy. So I start here and then I just try to move. For post-production, we use Adobe Premiere, but you could also use Final Cut or DaVinci Resolve.
Or a movie maker on your phone.
It doesn't really matter as long as you know what you're doing and how to use the tool. The first videos that we did, they started out pretty simple. Nowadays we do a little more effect stuff, which we are using DaVinci Resolve for or After Effects with Adobe. The basic tattoo video is you take all the footage that you shot and you put it into your project at first. So you got your first selection. You look through all the stuff that you have. And that's an important thing that you have to consider while filming. Don't shoot too much. If you do a short video for Instagram that's only 15 or 30 seconds long, you'll probably only need 7 or 8 good shots. So know what you're doing before you shoot. You take it into your timeline, you find the parts that are really amazing, that stick out in front of the rest of the footage, and then you can cut it, put it into slow motion, so you slow it down from 100% speed to 25% speed. What's really important is that you go in as late as possible and you cut out as soon as possible, okay? So you make your clip that stands there as short as possible. You don't have to show too much before and too much after, just really the highlight, the very best part of this clip. You take that, put it into slow-mo, and even then sometimes you can say, oh, it's still too long, I can still cut something from the slow-mo out of there. That's the first part. You have to get your selection, you have to put everything in slow motion, and then you can do a little color grading. The thing is, what we do here at Mommy I'm Sorry, we just desaturate the footage, which makes it look a little bit more professional, and you don't get all these color grading problems that you would normally have. Because we're not a movie production here, and we don't have the time just to sit there all day and do color grading for a video that's on Instagram afterwards. So it's not a real color grading that you would do at a professional movie production in Hollywood, but it's also not just a LUT or a preset. I do each clip individually.
But it's also important to keep the color grading simple when shooting or when producing tattoo videos, because for the sake of your clients you want to show reality, you don't want to fake it. So if you change too much in the color grading or in the saturation, then you don't represent how your tattoo really looks like anymore. That's why it's also different if we produce a black and gray tattoo video, like a video about a tattoo done in black and gray or in color. So if it's a full color tattoo video, we don't lower the saturation that much, so you can see how the colors really look like in black and gray. We can do it. It's more just for the aesthetic look of the video, and maybe to reduce the skin irritation when the skin gets red or something like this, or just to have one clean look out of it, because while shooting the light settings change a little bit, the mood changes a little bit. We have like big windows here, daylight comes in, comes out. Keep it real, don't fake your stuff, but make it nice.
And you will notice a difference if you color grade a video with only 40% saturation, or if you do like 90% or even 100% saturation, you will notice the difference immediately. You will have difficulties to adjust the whites, to adjust the skin tones. It's not critical, but it takes time. And when you produce like 5 or more tattoo videos a day, you just have to work efficient.
Nice. So we filmed the video, we edited it. Last part is music.
No, well, there's music. You have to find a cool clip, but it's not the last part. You can take any music that you like and that you're allowed to use. You can put it under the clip, and what you can do then, as you can see the beat in the video file, you can adjust your cuts to the beat. So when you see, okay, there would be a cut, but it's like half a second before the next bass drum or hi-hat or whatever, just a snare drum or whatever, you can just put the cut there, so it fits in with the music, and then your video matches the music that is beneath the video, which makes a huge difference. You can feel it in the cuts. When the cut is on time, when it's like dum, bah, cut, then you will feel it in the video. And if it's just the music totally separated from what's happening with the cuts, it doesn't seem as professional anymore.
We got the music. What's the last part? Tell me, Sebastian!
The last part is a really important part, which is exporting your video for Instagram, all right? Because Instagram messes up your footage when you upload it. So you have to make sure that your video has the optimal format for Instagram. What I do when I export a video, I ask the guy, okay, do you want the video for your story, or do you want it for your feed, or for what do you want it? Because if you want it for the story, I export it in 1080 x 1920, which is full HD resolution. But if you just want to put the video in your feed, then I export the video in 1080 x 1350, because that's the 4:5 format that you use on Instagram. You don't lose much quality when you upload the video to Instagram if you export it with 3.5 megabits per second. The crazy thing about that is I would never have the idea to export a video in such a low quality, because normally you would, for a full HD video, you use at least 10 Mbit. But if you upload a 10 Mbit video on Instagram, Instagram itself compresses the video and it looks like shit. So if you upload it with 3.5 Mbit, it doesn't compress as much, and then the video looks better on Instagram.
Sebastian, thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm super curious about what you're gonna do with the new knowledge. I'm super hyped to see all of your videos, because we need to develop this industry. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you like our videos, I hate doing all this YouTube stuff. You know, notifications, subscribe, follow us on Twitch, where we talk more about in our live streams, Instagram, Bestie Shows Best, Mommy, I'm sorry.
And we have an OnlyFans now.